Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the Guys Podcast, Capture Media. Today, I have my sister Tiffany, my brother Omar, and my other brother Tyree. What's good, people?
What's
Hey,
happening?
hey.
What's going on? How you guys feeling today?
Everything's good, thank God.
That's
Wonderful.
what's up.
Thank you.
So, let's get right into this topic. The topic is: have Black women become feminist slash liberal white women? So the reason why this topic is important to me because I look at the current landscape and how things are, and I think that white women have shaped the modern day Black woman's identity. So for one, white women, they've been setting the cultural standard to a certain degree. Black women, they started prioritizing their career like liberal feminist white women. Um, you see sexual promiscuity and sexual liberation. Well, because of sexual liberation, I think around like the 70s, sexual promiscuity has been on a rise. We threw shame out the window. Um, you see Black women at odds with their natural peers, which is the Black man. Black women are not currently prioritizing finding a man and starting a family, being a wife, being a mom. I mean, also too, you tend to see Black women leading, right, in college statistics as far as enrollment, and they become indoctrinated. And these are white institutions. Black women are utilizing social programs, which were typically foundational for the liberal, side, and just focusing on independence and being unruly, and also too not being proud of their own natural hair and their own natural look. So when I currently look at things, I see that we let the liberal feminist movement kind of shape, you know, how we live our lives, especially because things are more femme-centric, more gyno-centric, Black women leading through like the matriarchy in the family. I want to start it off with you, Tiffany. What do you think when I when I said that topic, and also too the things that I said along with that topic?
So I need to hear more. So I'm gonna be honest. When I
Okay.
heard this topic, my first response is, "What in the world does this mean?"
Mhm.
Um, have Black women become white liberal women? I was just confused, right? There, I didn't have
Mhm.
any context behind it. So before I can assert my whether I agree or disagree, I more clarity and more conversation needs to be had because too often women, like, I feel like when women find their voice, white, black, brown, whatever, and they start advocating for themselves, they start challenging the system, they start standing up against the man, they're suddenly labeled in some type of way, and specifically from men. It's, oh, they're radicalized, or they're emotional, or they're liberal. So tonight, i kind of I just want to sit back and hear you guys talk about what that means to you, um because I dropped the topic into one of my group chats, and I was just like, first thoughts. So some of the things that came back was, who wrote this and what color were they?
Mhm.
What kind of dumpster fire of a prompt is that? Is this rage bait? What does that mean? And WTF? So those are the responses I got from progressive women of color with just dropping that title into the chat. So with that being said, I just want to hear a little bit
So
more.
hold on, Tip. Let me ask you a question. When you say the man, what man are we talking about?
Oh, the system, the patriarchy.
So who runs the patriarchy, Tiffany? Is it Black men or white men?
Oh, it's white men.
Okay, so why would Black women be at odds with their Black peer or counterparts, Black men, when we're not the ones in charge of the patriarchy? Have, in your opinion, have Black women and white women did they have shared experiences coming
Of,
up?
of course, because at the end of the day, we're women, so we do share some things. Being a mother, uh, being a woman, those are things that we share. I
Okay.
think that as women of color, we are way more multidimensional than white women are. We have a lot more intersectionalities than they do. So yeah, I don't see us on the same playing field at all.
But
Just
wait. You said that they
that
do
thought process.
share. But wait, so is it that you don't see you guys on the same playing field, or do you guys have more similarities than not?
I don't think we
Which
have
one is
more
it?
similarities than not. I think that there are
Okay.
some things that we do have in common, but I think
Mhm.
women of color are way more diverse and complex when it comes to experiences and struggles and things like that.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, Tiff. Why is it that Black women have bought into the white women's feminist liberal movement, starting from the suffrage movement when in Seneca Falls, when white women were marching for rights, right? Black women
Mhm.
shared into that fight and with that march, but weren't given the same rights. Black people didn't get the right to vote until the 1960s, while white women got the right to vote in the 1920s.
I think the idea is there's strength in numbers, right?
But hold
Um,
on, wait, I'm sorry to cut you off. Strength in numbers, but not being able to benefit from
yeah,
what your white
yeah,
counterparts were marching
absolutely.
for. How does that
Absolutely.
benefit Black women?
I think that the idea is there's strength in numbers, and though everybody may not benefit at the same time, this is going to pave that road or open the door for people to come in a staggered type of way. No one, I don't believe anyone thought, back in the 1920s, that Black women were going to automatically get the right to vote just because they marched, just like when Black men were going to Vietnam, they weren't going to get the same, welcome home and benefits as their white counterpart, but that didn't stop them from, you know, signing up, even though the draft was, active back then. You see that there's a lot of people who came before us to be able to allow generations after them, you know, to not have the same struggle. So I think that that is what it was more so about than, oh, we think we're going to get the same exact treatment as white women.
But by doing so, you guys isolated yourself, made yourself independent, and separated yourself from the Black man. I'm gonna get to the fellas. I just wanted to say this: you guys fell for the banana peel in the tailpipe because right, they use you for your numbers and your strength, and then they shitted on you, right? Same thing with the DI. People look at DI thinking that Black people benefit more, but no, it's white women. So they
Yeah, white
utilize
women.
Black women. Yeah, so they utilize you for your struggle and your fight, and then they overlook you, and then they did things to actually make you be at odds with your own Black man and destroyed you. And you utilize these social programs, right? That was created by the liberal side of politics, and it destroyed our community. But Tiff, I'm definitely going to come back to you. I'm sorry, I'm going to come back to you. Oh, what do you think? Oh, after that, after me reading that topic and hearing what I said after the topic, what comes to your mind?
Um, well, we got to go back to right from the way I have this. I like to go back to the beginning of things. So you have to think about it. Since we've been amongst white folks in the West for the last 470 years or whatever it is, um, obviously we aren't made the same, and we never had the same struggles. We came here to do a job. They brought us here to do a job. We didn't come here. They brought us here to do a job, and that was to build something for them. And in the midst of that, Black men and Black women suffered the same problems, right? Suffered the same, um, uh,
Fate.
for lack, huh?
Suffered the same fate or
Same fate
experiences.
or same, yeah, same experience and same consequences, for lack of better terms, right? So the white woman has been always trying to get equal rights to their white counterpart. Black men and Black women had nothing to do with them at that point in time as far as rights and things like that. So when we fast forward to these times, those white women are still fighting to get equal rights with their white counterparts. But the thing about it is Black women has joined the movement, and white women have used these Black women and made it a women's movement. but it's not a woman's movement. It's a white woman's movement, because when things pop up that are just solely about black women, where are your white counterparts? When girls go missing and it's 30 something in a weekend, there's no one popping up. There's no white people popping up, a white woman popping up on your side. So this goes to show we use you for what we want, and now we discard you when we want. And then black women jump back in the field with them again, taking on their mission as if they had the same problem with their black man when they didn't. We never had the problems that they had. The woman never had the same problems that white woman had with the black man that the white woman has with the white man. So when you villainize the black man, now you've set up separation, and you've set up a separation that is detrimental to the community, because black men never had the power that white men have had. So we can't give you what they can give you. So when you're sitting there and you're fighting us, you're fighting for no reason, and you're really trying to kick us while we're down, because we're trying to get back to a state that we were in before we came here, that we're no longer in. The white man is in the state where their women can ask for something from them. You're asking something from us that we can't give because we never did that to you. So then we have a problem. Now, so that goes to show you're really punching air. And when you're punching air, you look stupid. And you look stupid for taking on a movement. And I say this respectfully, but black women look stupid for taking on a movement that these white women use them for and then discard them for later. Black women do not have the same problems and never had the same problems as white women. And white men don't have the same problems and never had the same problems or same power as black men, because black men don't have the power of white men, because this is their country, and this is their civilization at this point in time. So when you're fighting us, you're fighting for no reason, really and truly. And this is what's setting up gender wars within the black community. And this is why marriage rates are so low and things of that nature, is because there's really no reason to be fighting when we can't give you what we never took from you. If we went back, and this is why I think separation is the best solution. I do not think white people and black people, I'm going far and I don't care, but white people and black people should be amongst each other. We do not think the same. We do not act the same. We do not have the same problems, right? So separation is the best and only solution, because you see when they even come around us for other things, it's abuse, it's police brutality, it's unfair with the jobs. Look, they're laying you guys off, one black woman off about a baker's dozen right now. And there's nothing that you can do about it. You can't blame us for that. You have to blame them. So if you were going to fight against a man, you need to join the white woman to fight against the white man and leave your black man alone, or help him on the back end. But you're not. You're just fighting against your man, and that's a problem. So I'll leave it there.
Oh, that was powerful. I love what you contributed right there. That made a lot of sense. Ty, I'm gonna get to you. I just want to know, Tiff, what do you think about what Omar just said? And after Tyrese speaks, I'm gonna ask you what you think about what Tyrese said. But what do you think about what the brother Omar just said just now? Like, do you agree? Disagree? Did he make good points?
I think it's a boundary thing, because we're not fighting the same battle. Like, we are fundamentally different. Are we women? Yes. But in everything else, our battle looks completely different than theirs. They are fighting against, if you were to ask them, what are your top 5 things you're fighting against? They're going to look, their top 5 things are probably nowhere on a woman of color's top 5 things, or even on her list, right? You have two fights going on, right? And one is headed by women of color, another by white women. And yes, of course, there's going to be some similarities. There's going to be, 1 or 2 things that, resonate between the groups, but we're fighting different things, and we have different reasons why we're fighting them. And I think in 2025, a lot of women now have seen how past generations have been played, have been, the carrot, the proverbial carrot has been swung in front of their faces. Um, and you see a lot of women of color resisting that now. You know, they they go to work, they keep their head down, they're code switching is going out of style, smiling and waving just to make your white counterparts feel better, like things are changing, and that's where this fight is going with women of color now. We're resting because we've seen now. We're on the beginning stages of this new idea, right? Of let them fight their battles, we're done. It's new, but it's here, right? So if we're talking about prior, to 2020, let's just say, okay, yeah, maybe we thought kumbaya, you know all of us together, strength in numbers, diversity, all of this good stuff. But there are two different movements happening. Um, we are fighting the man, and like Mo said earlier, who's the man? The establishment. That's really who we're fighting in general. And if the establishment seems to look like a black man who, for some reason, resembles the establishment, sometimes you get caught in the crossfire. Now, I'm a very liberal, conservative person, so I'm not speaking for myself. I'm just speaking in general. A lot of women feel oppressed, and sometimes their oppressor is their counterpart, is the black or brown man. It's the black and brown man and the white man that they're being oppressed, by. So, mhm.
I'm sorry. Finish. I'm sorry.
Okay. And I'm going to say this, we're talking about, black women are joining the white women and all this stuff. And we need to do, how about black men join us? How about that? How about, I'm just going to put it out there because that is real. Black men need to see what it is, right? You guys are seeing that women of color are fighting and advocating and doing all of this stuff and pushing back on societal standards and the patriarch and whatever it looks like, oppression. Join us. And maybe that's why a lot of women that look like me are, you feel like there's this pushback, because they're like, you're not helping either. You sitting over there pointing fingers talking about, oh, you're liberal, or oh, you're this or that. Come join the fight. Walk with us like they did back in the civil rights movements. You saw men and women alike, young and old, are marching elbow to elbow, arm to arm together. And it wasn't, oh, you think you're this or you think you're that. No, it was for the greater good of the community and for our people. And you don't see that now. And that's what I think, that's what the issue is. Join the fight. If we're the ones fighting and we're on the front lines, pick up a gun, pick up an axe, I don't know, pick up a pamphlet, but start marching.
All right, Tiff. Hold on. Wait, hold that thought. Oh, let me just go to Ty real quick. Hold that thought. Tyree, what do you think about?
It's the thing, I just don't want to forget what I'm going to say. It's just a question.
All right, go ahead.
So Tiff, I ask this: if you have abandoned the fight of the white women, why haven't you gone back to what was working for you before, when it was just you and your black man? Why haven't you gone back to that? Because there was a time it was working for you, right? So if you've abandoned that fight, you would go back to what was working. And then you're saying, the last thing you just said was, we should join you. Why would we join a fight that we know you're fighting against us when you say the man? We're not fighting against you. You're fighting against us. We don't have any power. That was the point. We don't have any power to grant you anything. So if we join you, we are two people punching the air now instead of one. Now we both look foolish. You get what I'm saying? So the first question, why haven't you guys gone back to doing what was working for you before. If you realize and you can't, there was some awakening that happened that what they were doing was using you and discarding you.
But hold on, Tip, before you answer, we got to go to Tyree real quick. So just remember the two questions that Omar was asking, and then Ty, my brother, what do you think about the title and the things that I added along with the title, and then also what Tiffany's response was and what Omar's initial statements were?
So I initially heard the title, I was kind of like Tiffany. I'm like, well, what the fuck does this mean? I kind of understand it because we have a lot of discussions about things, but I just feel like the question was posed maybe the wrong way, or maybe it's being looked at the wrong way. For me, a better question would be, how are Black people, or maybe specifically Black women, weaponized by white liberals? I don't think Black women are aware that they're being weaponized all the time. I think that the way that you destroy a people, if you watch any famous mafia movie, you watch movies from the hood, there's a lot of places I can get this from, but a way to get to a man is through his woman. They just did that on a grand scale. So what happens is they turned you against us by giving you more economic power and status than us. You then let nature run its course. You look down on us, saying that we can't do for you what they do for you. You say that we're not competing, we're not better. But the truth is that it is a lot easier for a Black woman to make it in this economy than a Black man. Now, I'm not saying that you are great. Like, you are great in as far as maybe the most enrolled, but you are making more money. There is more debt and there's more things like that. But I think that you took not you, Tiffany, the Black woman took the leaps and strides that they made, and instead of using that to bring it home and empower the Black men and bring them with you, you say, well, I don't need you. And I think that was the wrong approach. I think that if you're going to say that we're the most educated, we're the most this, why not bring the Black man with you? You say fight with us, but how can we fight with someone who looks down on us? Most of the time, you will show a white man making the same amount of money more respect than you would me, because for some reason you feel as though I should be well above you, but you're willing to accept the bare minimum from others. No other culture really does that, because other cultures have maybe a religion or something, or a nation or a land in which they can draw their ideas from, or their ideals from. So like a Pakistani man and woman, they come together, they're here together, because they came back from their country together. You know what I'm saying? So they have their ideals and things that they bring with them. I think you don't have Western Black women who are born here. They don't really have anything to latch on to as far as tradition and history and things. So you're easily swaying to believe that you should be living like this, or that things should be like this, when we could build this generationally if we would have just said, okay, we're not at the top right now, but we could be. There's so many other cultures and races that are not at the top, but they slowly get there as generations, as the men and women of that culture work together. There's a Mexican man working at Home Depot who gets a lot of respect from his wife. You know what I'm saying? And they work together and in very short times own homes. Like, you know what I'm saying? And have things, because they work together and it's a family unit. It's not divisive. They don't look at it like the Mexican woman is not looking at the Mexican man like, why are you not better than the white man or whatever like that? It's not that. It's what can we do together to get ahead? So I think you're being weaponized. I wanted to ask you a couple questions too. Would you consider yourself a Black activist first or a feminist first?
I'm an activist first, all day, every day.
Okay, that's important to make that distinction.
And the distinction for me is that I can look outside of my bubble and outside of my household, and I can see a community's need, and their need becomes my need, right? And I think that that's a big difference too between the two fights. One is very ego-centered, very id, They're fighting specifically for themselves and what's going to help their household, their family. And you've got another side that says, how do we help the masses? How do we educate more people? And so for me, that's the difference.
Okay.
All right. What's the other
I would
question?
say that Black people's desire, and I'm gonna finish right now. Black people's desire to be included is exactly the reason why we destroy ourselves. And I think that, like you said, you are able to, maybe they like to say that we're the most empathetic people. I'm not gonna do all that shit, all that Black power shit, but I'm just gonna say that honestly, your compassion is weaponized. They don't care for your struggles as much as you care for their struggles. When you're struggling, that's like the Muslim guy who's, we're all brother. When it's Black problems, we both have the same problems. But then when it's time to, when other things happen, we're not brothers anymore. And that's what they're doing with you. Your sisters under this, and when they need you, like he said, when they need your numbers, they need you to march. They know the Black woman is one of the most Black women are very strong. Like a Black woman is going to fight like for what she believes in. They know that you are like, they can put you, pay attention to even down to, I read an article where they said they put Black women in certain roles like security and MTA because they know you're an enforcer by nature. You're stronger than other women by nature. So it's like they understand that the fight and the fire you have, and they know how to light and gaslight you into thinking that you hate the man, like you said, we have no power. We cannot take anything from you. Like, we have to appeal to the same people that you have to appeal to gain anything. We have to go to the same institutions and get the same education. We cannot hold you back at all. Now, when men are put in positions where the women are when men have nothing to fight for, they tend to move towards destruction. I think that Black men also have things to work on because a lot of Black men I do see do not have a family oriented like mindset. They're not focused on like, let me get my education so that I can do this, so I can do that. But I also believe that's because they're not respected. Men will fight for what they're respected. Like, if you respect a man, he'll do whatever. If it means that protecting you, the woman that loves me, is go getting the education and becoming better and more productive and competitive, I think we would. And I think that there are a lot of men who, first of all, are incarcerated because they tried to take care of their family the best way they knew how. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as a Black man, okay, maybe I can't get it this way, but I'm not going to let my wife and kids go without food. So if I got to go against the white man system to fucking feed my family, okay. But then you look at that and think of him as less than, when really he did all he knew how to do as a man, which is try to feed my family. However it is, I'll become the darkness for my family if it means they eat, but I'll be that. There's a lot of people I know who are quote unquote gangsters and killers who are really just nice guys who just like, I can't let either you hurt or my daughter hurt, and I'm not going to pick my daughter. So it's like, I'm going to rob you so that my daughter can eat. And I'm not justifying that. I'm just saying that, like you said, there's different circumstances. We are not living in the same circumstances as those ones. So when you pick up their battles, you got to understand what else like that goes with that. Like, we're not to you what the white man is to them.
Right.
And I'm done.
So I wanted the title to be hyperbolic. So Tyree, let me respond to that first, what you said about the title. They've been weaponized since day one. Now they are them, right? There's no difference now. When I see a Black woman, she has no identity. She's not loyal to us. She's more loyal to like the system. And I don't see any difference between because most modern day Black women are liberal by default, right? They're liberal by default. Where did they get that from? So I don't see any difference between white women who are liberal feminists and Black women. So that's why I asked that question. And this is why I had it like that for the topic. Have they become liberal white women? If you change the color, you wouldn't know. It's the same people because they have the same ideologies. That's one. Number two is Black women are the most enrolled, but they tend to obtain degrees that are not practical and degrees that are not tangible, right? So they're getting a bunch of useless fucking degrees. Number two is what you said, Tyree, about women being financially capable. Black women do not out-earn Black men. That is false. Black men still out-earn Black women. But here's the thing. When you look at Black women who are poor, Black women who live below the poverty line, they still say they don't need a man. You know how sick you have to be poor be a baby mother, and still say, hey, I don't need a man, I'm gonna take this welfare. What was these social programs like? Who built these social programs? Liberal foundations, right? To aid and assist women making that decision to not need a man, give them this welfare. So instead of having a strong masculine father, they're the guy. They said, we don't need that. We can just substitute that with the government. So basically, the government is the daddy of most kids, and and black women are marrying the government. Let's go back to slavery, right? When you look at slavery, you got black women weren't enslaved because they were women. They were enslaved because they were black. And you know who also owned slaves? White women also owned slaves. And you know who made black women breastfeed their white babies? White women did that. So when you look at it like from that lens and understand everything that happened, I don't see a reason why any black woman would want to join a feminist movement or have a liberal type ideology. And I'm gonna ask Tiffany this question. Tiffany, what has feminism and being a liberal done for black women? What benefit was being a feminist and a liberal to the black community? Because I don't look at it as black women, black men separate. I look at black family unit. So what has the black women who are liberal, who are identifying as feminists, how has it benefited us as a whole, Tiff? And then I'm gonna ask Tyree and Omar that same question.
So I
only benefits.
I feel like
wait. No, Tiff, let's not use feelings. Let's use like empirical data.
I'm emphasizing the word feel, right? For a reason. I feel like the word liberal or feminist is just draped in such negativity. It's like you hear it and it's like nails to a chalkboard. Instead of really truly understanding it, you know, there are extremes for everything, right? You have far right and far left. You have moderate, and then everything in between. And I feel like when you use those terms in that way, in that tone, you are saying this is a crock of bullshit. I don't believe in it. It's dumb. It's, you know, it's the Antichrist, and it's what's killed black men's chances of being someone special. And what
wait, Tiff, let me just, I'm sorry to cut you off, Tiff, but let me just,
black women's opportunities.
Tiff, 1 second. Let's not even go extreme. Feminism tells women to prioritize career and education, right? Don't prioritize, do not prioritize family and being a mother. To feminists, being a mother and a wife only should be beneath them. So let's just call it what it is, Tiff. Now, during a certain time when black people were doing better, we were together more. Our families were together more. Black women were the most married and having children and getting married younger than any race in America. Also, too, Tiff, you have to understand that, yeah, there were 3 waves of feminism, but let's just go with just basic, what like feminism, just being a wife and a mother. So I don't want you to think that I'm going extreme with it.
Right.
But just basically prioritizing career, prioritizing education, getting married later.
So that's not basic.
Prioritizing having children.
But that's not basic. That's something that progressed, right? Because the foundation of what feminism said is, I'm a human just like you. Just because we have different anatomy doesn't make you better or me less. That is the core of feminism, right? That we should have equal pay. We
are different though, Tiff.
We should have the same rights, right?
But we're not equal.
Open a bank account. I can open a bank account. You can vote. I should be able to vote. That was the core of feminism. Now you're talking about how it's progressed over time, and the extreme definition of feminism is going to say, don't worry about having a family. That should be the last thing you do. Work on your career first. Put you first. That's the extreme definition of feminism.
Hold on, Tiff, you think that's extreme? I don't think that's extreme.
I think that's extreme.
You know why? You know why I don't think it's extreme, Tiff? Because it's happening. More women are doing that than not. So it's not extreme. That's the norm. More women are not.
From the core of what feminism started as and from where it is right now, that's extreme, because feminism was just about equal rights, right? And nothing else. It didn't say I want to have babies or be on birth control or have an abortion whenever I want to or have my career. It wasn't about that at all.
But Tiff, but what I'm saying is that, but Tiff, it's not extreme when most women are doing it. Extreme means a select few, like, oh wow, it's extreme. The average woman is not prioritizing. Hold on, Tiff. The average woman is not prioritizing being a mom and having kids. The average woman is saying, I'm independent. I want to be a boss babe. So I don't think that's extreme. Think about it. Extreme is not the most. It wouldn't be extreme if it was predominant, right? It would be extreme if you
It would still be extreme.
I agree with both of you.
Doesn't make it not extreme.
Hold on, but let me just say this, Tiff. That's the cultural norm in America now. Let me just say that, right? And wait, and let me go back to with the whole equality thing. Men and women are not equal. We're not the same. So how can we be equal? How can things be equal? Is it equality when we go to war? Should we put you guys on the front line with us? How is it equality when you guys have a different set of standards to meet for civil service jobs, to be a firefighter? If it's equality, we should have no WNBA and NBA. It should be just one basketball league. We're not equal. And I would argue most women don't want equality when it doesn't suit them, right? I'm sorry, most women don't want equality when it suits them, right? Like paying for dates, being the protector, being the main breadwinner. There's a lot of things that women say they want equality, but yet when the rubber meets the road, they really don't want equality. So we're not equal, and we can't be judged by the same standard.
So again, the core feminism way back when was that women could not own property. Women could not have money and bank accounts, and they couldn't make their own legal decisions without their father or their husband. They couldn't vote. That was the basis of feminism.
So Tiff, now let me say this.
It wasn't, you can do that job, I can do that job too. It wasn't based on that.
Can you add the caveats? But Tiff, can you add the caveats though about the voting? Women couldn't vote, but women didn't have to serve in selective service, Tiff. Even till this day, women don't have to get drafted, right? So that's one. When asked, most women didn't want the right to vote. Let's add that in too. When they wait, hold on, Tiff. You know the feminist movement was going to war with housewives that didn't want the right to vote, Tiff.
Yeah.
They did not want the right to vote. Also, too,
because their husbands were telling them that they shouldn't.
No, but also men didn't get the right to vote either, Tiff. You had to be of a certain class to vote. White women got the right to vote around the same time as just everyday Americans got the right to vote. Every man didn't. Poor men who were living in dilapidated states didn't get the right to vote. That's another thing too that feminists don't talk about. Every man didn't. You had to own land. You had to be a man of means, right? And with the bank account thing, with the credit card thing, Tiff, I just want you to know this too, is that the reason why is because most credit, it was illegal to put women in debt. A woman still could have access to a credit card. And I'm not saying that a woman shouldn't have had access to a credit card. I think women should have, because there's two types of feminism. There's gender feminism and there's equity feminism, right? Equity feminism means I need equality. Fine, if a woman wants to be equal, it's easier for us. But the other side is gender equality, meaning everything a man can do, I can do. So that's what I just wanted to say that, because like when a lot of times I hear women about the voting rights, this and that, you got to also add the other part that a lot of women didn't want the right to vote. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Because they didn't want the right to vote. If you were to literally go back 100 years and ask them, they would be like, I don't know, because my husband said so. We are literally talking about 1920. Like we're talking about.
But men didn't have the right to vote either, Tiff. But
we're not talking about 2025, where women are now educated and they know their rights and things like that. Women didn't have rights and thought whatever their husband said was the truth. So,
but let's talk about men that have the right to vote either, though. But every man didn't have a right to vote.
Poor white men were able to vote way before.
No, they were not.
Yes, they were.
But what I'm saying is that white women were given the right to vote shortly after all white men were given the right to vote. That is a fact. And as these guys are talking, I can look it up.
Google it.
I am.
See if you say anything for early 1800s.
All right. But like I said, every man didn't get a right to vote. I think it's like all right, go ahead.
It was in the 1800s that all white men were able to vote.
Go ahead. Were you gonna say?
Yeah, I don't remember what I was going to say, but I do agree.
No, you said that you agree with both.
Yeah, there was something I agree with you on both. She's talking about the core of feminism, right? The core of feminism was about trying to get, the equal rights and things like that, same pay and all of that stuff, right? But that's that. I definitely agree with that. And what she's saying is it is extreme now because extreme is a condition of something, right? So the conditions have gone far left now with feminism. So it is extreme. Just because it's normalized doesn't mean that it's not extreme, right? Like slavery was extreme, but it was normal back then. So we can't say they weren't being extreme because it was normal to hang a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
extreme is subjective. What's extreme to you might not be extreme to them. Yes, it is.
It's not. Extreme is a condition, brother. All right, so you mean that it's you. So it's humane, right? To see somebody want to hang him for no reason because he's black. That's extreme, brother.
But what I'm saying
that's
to you
not,
is
that's
that,
not a subjective thing.
What I'm saying is that everyone doesn't have the same moral compass, and to what's extreme to you.
It's either you're moral or you're not moral. It's not moral to see somebody and want to hang them because of the color of their skin, bro. That's not having a morale, or that's not having a conscience. That's you being a devil, bro. That's not a moral thing to do. You get what I'm saying? That's not even on a scale.
So far beyond in usual or normal. So that's the definition, right? So what I'm saying is that what's normal is something that you see all the time, right?
Yeah, but just heard you said far beyond. We can't leave far beyond what's normal.
But if something is occurring constantly, it becomes normal, right?
But what's normal to you? But what she's saying is it's the beginning. What the normal thing was to fight for equal pay. They took it far beyond what was normal, so that makes it extreme. That's according to the definition that you just said.
I know, but what I'm saying to you, even according to the definition, what's unusual, right? So what I'm saying is that if it's unusual, that means that it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen often. What I'm saying is that
for how it started, though, bro. That's what we're talking about. It's unusual to how it started. So if it started at one place and you take it somewhere else, you've gone to the extreme because that wasn't the normal. You've made it normal, right? Or you've normalized it. We should say you didn't make it normal. You've normalized it. But normalizing something and something being normal is not the same thing.
It's not
you have to look at
the extreme.
No, I hear you, but what I'm saying is that you have to look at the current time. And what I'm saying is that women, you got to listen to what I said. I didn't say as far as equality, right? A woman being equal that's something that they're not even fighting for anymore, right? What I'm saying in modern day time, it's not extreme for a woman to prioritize career and education, right? That's that's what I was saying. You can't just say feminism is one thing. Yes, it's a clear-cut definition, but it also embodies a lot of things. It's not just equality, because a lot of women didn't even get, they were never drafted, right? So what I'm saying is that how can they want equality, but yet they weren't ready to go to war and be drafted? And what I'm saying is, right? And what I'm saying is, in today's modern time, it's extreme for a woman to get pregnant at 19 and get married at 19. That's extreme. It's extreme when you hear a woman say, I don't want to work. I just want to prioritize my career and my family. That's more extreme than a woman saying, hey, I'm not getting married.
That appears more extreme, but it's not more extreme. That's normal. This is what I'm saying. You're proving my point, bro.
What I'm saying to you is that what's normal and abnormal has a lot to do with the norm, right? And what you see often, right? Right? Because what I'm saying to you is that things can change as we go along, right? A new generation comes along, and what we think is normal could be extreme to them. That's what I'm saying.
But when something starts, that's the standard. That's the base of something, right? That's the start of it. That's what it is. That's it. If I take that thing and start adding and adding and adding and adding and taking it out of its normal element, I've taken it to the extreme. You get what I'm saying? Just like if I have a child and I'm disciplining that child, if I come home and just start wailing on that child every day, I've taken discipline to the extreme, which now makes it abuse. You get what I'm saying? So it's normal to discipline your child.
What's abusive
but it's
to
not normal
corporal
to
punishment?
abuse them.
But it's not all. But what's abusive to you might not be abusive to another parent. We're gonna disagree. Disagree.
The goalposts.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying to you is that in today's time, what Tiffany was saying is extreme is not really extreme.
No, it's not appearing extreme, but it is extreme. That's why I said it's been normalized. Normal and normalizing something is not the same thing. It's normal for what she's saying, how it started out was a normal thing. We want equal pay. And I honestly, I agree with that, right? Equal pay if you do the same work. So I don't agree with feminism per se, period, right? But the fact that I'm just talking about the definition of what she's saying. The fact is that was how it was. That was the normal thing of feminism. But feminism has been taken to the extreme. Now they want everything. Independence, stay away from me, don't like men, don't want help, XYZ. That's something that's taken to the extreme. That's not normal.
I would even argue. I would even argue that that's not even feminism. That has morphed into something that's not even feminism. That's
I agree, but they're calling they labeled it under feminism. So that's what we have to take it at. They're saying
understood. But yeah, when we start to dissect it, like it's so off the path of what feminism was supposed to be that it's like, can we really call it that? Can we even still put it in the same category?
I think you shouldn't. But the fact of the matter is, this is what they have made it into. You get what I'm saying?
But why? So listen, even with the first thing, right, saying the right to vote, why weren't they marching and advocating to be selected?
I agree with that. Right? I agree with you. So, I'm not debating that. So, I agree with you. I'm just talking about when we talk about these subjects, we have to we have to make it clear about what we're saying. That's the only reason why I'm going with normal and normalized. I don't agree with feminism, period. Right? I don't agree with feminism, period, because you say you want equal pay, but you're not doing the same work. That's not fair, right? That's not equality.
But also but also the third wave already been and came, right? So it was like basically like, I would say give or take like 3 waves, right? So the third wave has been here, and women are still riding with the feminism train even after the third wave, right? Of we don't need men. So
that's
even
why
if it's so now that's extreme. So now even women who say, see, there's a difference between women saying fuck men, kill them, we don't need them, and I don't want a man, I don't want to have children right now, or I don't even prioritize being a mom and a wife. That's 2 different things. I would think extreme is fuck men, they need to die. That's extreme. Extreme is not, I don't think about getting married. I'm gonna have kids when I'm in my 30s.
You want to know why that's still extreme?
Why
because you're still made to have a companion naturally. Everyone is made to be with someone. That's
no, I know that. But I didn't say not.
I said later, when you say I'm independent, I don't want no man, I don't want to get married, this, that, and the third, that's extreme, fam. But now there's levels to extreme.
But some women say I'm not prioritizing a man. I'll get a man later. That's not extreme in today's time.
No, I get what you're saying. That's still extreme, but it's been normalized. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now there's levels to extreme. If I want to hang somebody, that's one thing, right? But then if I want to hang him and cut his balls off and then set him on fire, I'm wilding. That's it. They're both extremes, but they're levels to the extremities.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? That's all it is. So I don't agree with you saying I'm not you. I'm just saying I don't agree with them saying I don't prioritize a man, this, that, and the third. Why not? He's supposed to be the leader. You want him on the forefront fighting with you, taking care of XYZ, but then you don't want him for other things, which makes no sense. So then that goes back to your point with what you were saying earlier, where they only want men when it's they only want equality when it suits them. That's why I don't agree with feminism. Period. If you say you don't want a man, that's a problem. Do I think when we're talking fairness, do I think a woman should get, if I'm a lawyer and she's a lawyer and she's putting in 12 hours and doing the same work that I'm doing, she should get equal pay? Absolutely. But if we're just calling her a lawyer, I see construction workers, right? And I see this all the time. I'm driving. You see the woman holding a sign talking about stop and go. Then the men are over there with the jacket. Should she get the same pay as those men? No.
Hell no. Yeah.
But then they'll call her a construction worker and she'll say, I should get the same pay. He's getting paid $50 an hour and I'm getting paid $30. You're holding the
Yeah, see,
fucking
the
line.
page, the page wage gap, that shit was already debunked by economists.
I know, but I'm just using it
Yeah.
as an example.
Yeah, no,
of what
of course,
they
of
started
course,
feminism
of course.
as, and it was feminism. That's what they started it for.
No, facts,
equal
facts.
pay, equal rights. That's bullshit. They had equal rights because they were doing less. That's equality. We're looking for stuff to be divided equally, not equal. Equal is saying you have what I have. Equality is saying you get. Equally is saying you get what you deserve. If they want to be in the WNBA and they want to get paid like the NBA player, they have to bring in the same amount of money that the NBA is bringing in order to get paid the same thing as the NBA players. But they're saying pay me equal pay as the NBA players, and they don't bring in enough money, revenue in order to sustain the pay. If they were to pay these women, they will be bankrupt overnight because they don't bring in enough money.
No,
so this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's get back. So guys, let's get back to the topic. So Ty, what do you think regarding what Tiffany was saying about feminism in its earliest stages and Black women being more so on board with the actual definition of feminism? Do you think that Black women should be okay with being a feminist if you go back to the beginning with just equality?
Yeah, I think any human being, when you go like what this basic things they're first fighting for, I could understand someone wanting those things. But then I would also ask, for some of those things, do you understand why you didn't have it? And I would say like for example, the credit card thing. Women can't incur debt, but you can use credit cards. So it's like basically you were not responsible for paying back debt at all. So I mean that could be considered an advantage. So I mean, I agree with basic things, but if you want to take the responsibility on of paying off your own debt, I don't see why not. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I would say that that's kind of like you're fighting, like, what are you really fighting for? Like, the reason why a lot of times you can't vote for certain things is because your life is not on the line if shit go wrong. Like most of the time, like if the Titanic is going down, we're going to let you live. We got to fight. So you don't get to have a say about where we go because you're not fighting. So it's like that would be even in a real life. If we in a group right now, all four of us, like you would, and we were stranded on an island on certain things, you, Tiffany, would have less say because me, Muhammad, and O would be the ones physically having to do the shit. Like we would be like, I would take your suggestion. I would be like, well, that's a good idea, Tiff. Maybe we should do that. But nigga, you're not chopping that tree down, so you don't get to pick what tree we chop down. You get to say like, you get little things like, but you're not getting this. So on a bigger scale, you weren't given the right to vote because if we say let's nuke this country and you vote to let's nuke this country, let's say that happens, you're not the ones who's going to fight after that, even though you don't fight after a nuke, because if you nuke, the world is done. But the point is, you don't fight. You don't get but you get what I'm saying. So that was what it was. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I believe a woman's opinion should be heard because as a leader, a good leader doesn't lead people without listening to them. That's a whole nother thing if you want to go into it. Like, I think what happens with some men is that they become tyrannical with their power. If you're with great power comes great responsibility. And so if you want a woman to listen to you, you should take what she says into consideration. But I'm making the decision because I have to die if this shit goes wrong. But I will listen to you if especially if you have insight on the fucking topic at hand. If you don't, then no. But to say so for basic human rights shit, I agree with you. Like you want your own debt. Okay, you want to vote? I can kind of see both sides. Like I can argue both sides of that one because again, you are not forced to fight. You can, if you want to right to vote, you should also fight for the right to fight in combat. Then I would agree with your right to vote because then you also say I am willing to die for what I say. That's different. So if you're willing to take on the equal responsibility, I feel like you can have whatever right you want, honestly. But you have to take on the actual responsibility of what that comes with that right. I think you don't realize that men have certain rights because there are certain things that are implied behind those rights. We have to sign up for the draft. So like, you know what I'm saying? And when this shit goes down, we're out there fighting. That's just one example. I can give you many, but I agree with you on basic things. If you want to have a bank account, yeah, You want to whatever.
Yeah.
But after that, it just started getting worse and worse. Feminism. Then it became
But so
I hate men movement, and now it's
Yeah.
like you believe that you don't need something that literally made the world safer enough for you not to believe that you need us. Like that's the paradox we live in now, where you're cursing out a motherfucker who made the world safe enough for you, and he'd be like, "Well, the world's still not safe." But I'm like, let's go back to barbarians and shit and see how safe it's not, because you don't get kidnapped. You can walk to the store and not get kidnapped and raped and pillaged, because there are men who like protect. Like, so yes, it may not be as great as you want it, but not you, Tiffany, but as women want it. But that's leagues before like what it used to be. Like, you know what I'm saying? There used to be a time where men could do what they want to you and no one's coming. You would have to hope that there were other stronger men who cared enough for your plight to help you. Now there are men who don't even care about, they get paid to care about your plight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're cops. Like, you know, but before it was like, if nobody cared about you getting robbed and raped and pillaged, that's just what you had to live with. So it's like, I just want to take things in perspective in that way, where you can have whatever rights you want as long as you're willing to do the things that men do for those rights that they have.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, so now,
Okay.
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead, sir.
I was going to say, in no world will women ever stop advocating for themselves. It could be 50-23, and women are still going to be the voice of whatever it is that's going on. I do think that generalizing feminism and saying that it's the cause of the demise of marriages or lower birth rates or why Black men aren't where they should be. I just think like that's an easy scapegoat, in general, because it goes so much deeper than that. I think that feminism allowed women to become more educated. And the more educated you are, the better decisions that you make. And you have men, for instance, great example. Oh, well, you need to choose better. You're right. You're right. Because that first baby daddy was, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. So you know what? Let me educate myself. Let me decide to make better choices. And then we educate ourselves and start making better choices and start saying, I'm not going to settle for that. And
Wait, but Tiff,
wait, because that's part of feminism, education, right? And deciding to make decisions for myself. So now that I'm making better decisions because I'm more educated, because women have more rights, now it's a bad thing, right? Or I am more educated and I know that only making $80,000 a year is not going to be able to feed a family of 5. Maybe we should only have 1 kid. And if your income becomes more or prices in childcare go down, we can have another kid. Or somebody's going to have to quit their job and stay home. I don't know who's going to be. We can do rock, paper, scissors, right? But I think it's the educational piece that there's some of the things that you guys are talking about right now that you're blaming on feminism.
Tip, you think education makes you pick the better man? Tip. Women are more educated now than ever, and they're still divorcing overwhelmingly and breaking up with men overwhelmingly.
Yes, because they got married before they got educated, and once they got educated, they decided
women
to
are not.
So
women are not getting married.
With that being said,
women are
yes,
not getting married.
do. I see it. That's why the birth rate is so low.
Hold on, Tiff. Wait, are you saying that women
are
you saying that
to settle for a relationship?
So, Tiff, are you saying that
to have kids, right, with men that are not?
Wait, Tiff, let me ask you a question, Tiff. Let me ask you a question. So you're saying that? Let me ask you a question. You're saying that women are getting pregnant and they're getting married before they finish their education?
I did, yeah. I'm
asking you. Like,
I think maybe 1. I think maybe 4 people actually did it the quote unquote right way out of like the 30 women that I
think
knew
the most
intimately. We all had kids first, had the baby daddy, maybe 2 of them, and then decided to get married, have some more freaking kids, and then divorce the guy. You know what I mean?
So, wait. But Tiff, I think the highest earning, correct me if I'm wrong, I have to look at the study, but I think the highest earning women prioritize kids later in life, Tiff. I think it's the women who live in poverty. No. Okay, so
no. You're wait a minute, hold on. I'm talking about the women specifically who did not get educated first. That's who I'm talking about. The women who are educated straight off the bat. They decide to go to school and get their master's, blah, blah, blah. They are following a different path, right? And now because of feminism, we have these choices that the more educated someone is, the better choices they make. That's my point.
Women,
depending on when that happens, is it between 19 and 22 or is it between 40 and 45? I'm just saying that right now, that's what you're seeing. It's not feminism. It's the power of knowledge and
education in the American education system does not help you pick better men. It's your parents who should help you pick a good man. That's one.
But that doesn't happen.
But what I'm saying is, but what I'm saying has to start from
and have bad examples of what
it has to start from somewhere. What I'm saying is that if we go back to prioritizing nuclear families, how it's supposed to be done, fathers are the ones that bring you your husband. That's one. Number two, Tiff, women are being educated, are more promiscuous now than ever. Feminism is the opposite of what you should be doing, which is, according to studies, when a woman loses her virginity to her husband, she tends to stay married longer. There's another study, the more bodies a woman racks up, the less likely she's able to pair bond. What happens in college, Tiff? After a woman graduated from college and she's dating and serial dating and going around, the less likely she's going to be happy and settled in a long-term marriage. These are facts.
You're proving my point.
I'm not.
You
because
are.
If a woman's, no.
As to, you're saying,
I'm saying the more education a woman gets,
with a bunch of people, then know what they should do is get married at 19 and have a baby at 19, and then they'll be with their mate for the next 50 years. That's my point right there.
No, my point is doing it the feminist way is not working. Prioritizing school,
it's
right?
Not working
Sleeping with different. No, it's not working for women. Women are the most unhappiest now than ever. Tiff.
I'm playing devil's advocate. It's not.
I just got one question. I just got one question.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So if it's been working for you, right? Mm-hmm. Making better choices has been working for you. What is the result of those better choices? Because you only know better choices by the result that you're getting. So what are these results that you've been getting from these better choices?
So statistically, women are living longer. They are more fulfilled. In general, no. Listen, hey, you can agree.
That's not true.
You can agree to disagree, but I'm telling you.
But Tiff, it's not true. The paradox of female happiness: women are more unhappy
right because society told us to be truly happy. They needed a nigga stressing them the fuck
you win,
out.
Tiff. You win. You win. I gotta do you like I do the girls in my life. You got it. You got it. But my thing is this: we all, and I'm gonna just close and say this, right? We all need to look at the results and be really honest with ourselves and say, does this work for me? Does this work for our family? Does this work for my community and the nation? The way I've been going, has this been a benefit to myself or not? And I think, Black women need to come out of this feminist mindset and join on to her man and help put her man back into the position that he should be in, and mom laughing that he should be.
Yeah, Tip gonna beat us up.
Yeah. Listen, look. It put us back in the position that we should be in, right? So that way we can help you be the best you as well. Because the fact of the matter is, you can't reach your goal without us, and we can't reach our full potential without you. But the fact of the matter is, there are other women. Don't clap yet, Tiff. There are other women that are choosing the Black man, but there are not other men that are choosing the Black woman. So ultimately, you should go with who is choosing you, and the Black man is choosing you. So you should cooperate and back him and get yourself back in a position. And Tyree said something earlier that was really good. There are times when men get in position and they're tyrannical about things. They're tyrants. But you have to do better with choosing those kind of men. But the men that are tyrants, we're not talking about them. There's no place for that, because the movie Hidden Figures shows us, right? And I think it shows us that women don't just belong home. They have good ideas and they could help you in the field, but their starting place is at home with the children and helping the man secure a place for himself to go out there and do the frontline work for you, to come and have an easier life, to do the other things that you want to do later on in life after the children are good. And I'll leave it at that.
So let me just bring it back home and just get you guys' final thoughts on it, because the original topic was, I want to say it exactly how I said it: have Black women become liberal, feminist, white women. But before you guys all answer this, I want to get some input from Tyree regarding what Tiffany was saying, what I said, and what Omar said. And I did a terrible job. I jumped in too much. I was a shitty.
That was my last thought. That was my final thought.
That's my fault. I messed up. And Tiff, I apologize for interrupting you. I have to take accountability for that. I'm sorry for that. I apologize. It will never happen again. Tyree, Tiff Mayweather, she gonna.
I'm a bulldoze over you. It's okay. I love you.
I know. I don't want no smoke.
I'm gonna give you a hand to pick you up.
I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke. Todd, what you gotta say, my brother? And then we're gonna go back to the original topic and close it out. Oh, you're muted, Todd. You're muted.
I'm off. I don't want no background. Yeah. So, I mean, well, before I even do that, we'll give Tiff this W. 1856 is when white men got their right to vote.
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna give her that W because she.
I was gonna say no, but that's what I said. I said that people think that it was just right women, but I'm saying it was a time where only a certain kind of man can vote, right? I'm saying
regardless of property ownership or anything, 1856, all white men could vote.
Yes, that's why I said before that it was only a certain group of white men who can vote, right? I said after that, then all white men. But what I'm saying to you is that right after that, white women got the right to vote. Then Black people got the right to vote way after, right? So that goes to my initial point. What do you fight?
No, I get what you're saying, but 1920 is not right after. That's what I'm saying. But
I mean, it's not. I mean,
in history, I guess, yeah, but that's that's
in the context of history, it's not that far apart, right? When you think about it.
I mean, I feel you.
No, but what I'm saying is that you would have thought that all men had the right to vote, then women, right? It was only a certain group. So what I'm saying is, it was a time that all men couldn't vote. That was my point. Right. It was a time that all men couldn't vote. You had to be of a certain status. Then women, then Black people, like in the 1960s, on a federal world.
Right, that's right. I just wanted to give her that
United States level.
Yeah.
I mean, but I didn't. No, I'm saying I didn't disagree with her. I said that's what it was. I said that all men didn't have the right to vote
No, but then we also was asked to search it up, and then we never searched it up. That's why I did. Yeah. But that's not even important. That was just a small thing. I don't have much to say more than I already said. I'm gonna go in circles. Tiff, I understand first wave feminism completely. After that, I just think it becomes very divisive. Said a lot of shit that I agree with as well. There's nothing I could really pick out of what I heard that's worth elaborating on. I just really think that we have to understand that community problems versus because like Tiffany was saying, you identify with other people's problems, but that then makes it so that you have more problems at home, because then you bring home, that's like when a group of women go out with their girlfriends and then they come home and have beef with their boyfriend that they didn't have before they went out with their girlfriends. But because you listening to your girlfriends talk, now all of a sudden, yeah, and you don't do this, but you was fine with it before you went out. You know what I'm saying? Now you got the women influencing you, and now you hate your man at home, and because you listen to what other women hate about their man. And that, I think that's that hive mentality that women have, where you kind of identify with things that don't got nothing to do with you. But other than that, I agree most of what Tiffany said. You should have all the shit that we have if you want it, and just take the responsibility for it. I don't have anything really. Are Black women white liberal women, whatever?
Right, so
no, they are not that. No, when Black women are not white liberal women, they do mimic a lot of their ideologies and things, but they are not them. Now, I see why you posed the question.
That's his closing thoughts, bro. That's his closing thoughts. You gotta leave that.
All right.
What you want to say, bro?
No, you gotta leave that.
Mm-mm.
All right. I was going to ask, why aren't they? Why aren't they white liberal women? That's it. Hello? Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You said, why aren't they?
Yeah, why don't you think they have turned into white liberal women? But Omar said, so you're right.
Leave it at that. But okay, well, we could talk about it more maybe another time. But I just don't think that they are that.
All right, I'm gonna leave it.
I think they share a lot of similarities, but I don't think that they are that. I will not classify that because black women are not going around doing what I see white liberal women do on social media. Like I'm not seeing black.
But hold on, Ty. I don't mean the first wave. I'm talking about the third wave. Well, the third and second of.
You mean like as of today? I mean, like I don't. Yes, I still don't see. I see some similarities in what they believe that their relationship should be like, but then after that, it deviates into a lot of other things that black women and white women do not have in common, bro.
So are black women more like white liberal women or white conservative women? That's another question.
We're not.
Well, I think women always. I think women in Western culture will always lean liberal because I think when you don't understand what goes into maintaining something, you might think that certain freedom should be allowed. That's a whole nother thing because the thing is, it's like you can look at that within your own family. Like a kid might say, "Dad, why can't we eat chocolate every day?" Sounds good, but I'm gonna tell you to kill you. So, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes maybe, and women tend to, because you're not responsible directly for keeping things together, you might not understand everything that goes into it. And maybe certain harsh decisions and certain harsh things that men maybe make, you may not agree with because you not understand what goes into maintaining a society or things like that. Like, well, I'm not gonna keep going. That's it.
All right. So that's your closing thoughts. All right. I'm gonna let you rock on that. That's your closing thoughts. That's it. Oh, closing thoughts.
He gave it. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Let me go again. Right.
She's shutting that shit down. She said he gave his.
I know. But I'll say this to answer the question: have black women become white liberals? Yes. And because the reason why I say that is this: when you adopt the mentality of something, even though you're not that thing per se, you become that thing. So if I say, if I'm someone who backbites people all the time and slithers behind them, people are going to say, yo, don't rock with, oh, he's a snake. Now, I'm not physically a snake, but I've adopted the mentality of a snake. So you're going to call me a snake. So we know black women haven't painted their skin white, but they've become white liberals because they've adopted a agenda and a program that's not theirs. They've become something that had nothing to do with them. They become a thing that is not them. That movement wasn't for them. Those problems aren't for them. Those people who they're fighting aren't for them. They should be standing in unison with their man, trying to build on that so they can go back to what worked, so they can build on what worked and become better from that. But when you're trying to build on something else that has nothing to do with you, you're going to run into even more problems than the ones that you've adopted the mentality of because you're originally not them. So I'll leave it at that. It's Brother O, and I'm out.
I appreciate you, O and Ty. Thank you, guys. Tiff, closing remarks.
So I'm going to say what might look like feminism on the outside. I think that what you're just seeing is black women in survival mode, to be honest with you. They've been burnt and hurt and used and abused from everybody, all of the people. Okay. And right now you're just seeing them saying no more. I can't you can't give blood from a rock. You know what I mean? And right now they are going inwards and learning to self-love and protect themselves. And that might look like feminism to people who are not looking at it in that way. So, okay. But I'm going to say that no, black women have not turned into white liberal women. I don't know. I think that it's just maybe black women are a few steps behind when it comes to certain things, right? And just because white women were on the front lines of advocacy before, it's because they could without being hosed and dogs sicked on them and them being, arrested, right? And now Black women feel like they're in a safer space to be able to do that for themselves. I don't think Black women became anything. We have always been. And from the very beginning, white women wanted to be us. They wanted our men. They wanted us to raise their children because, thank you, we were the better mother. They wanted us to nurse their children. Why? Because the blacker the berry, the sweeter the milk. Okay. So no, I don't think we're trying to be like them. They've always tried to emulate us. I would say, especially in my circles, Black women advocate for safety, and fairness, and dignity, like for everybody. We don't exclude, right? We don't say, oh, only are Black this, like you see on the other side. On the other side, it's, well, I mean, as long as it doesn't interfere with my white son, it's okay. Like, you know what I mean? And you don't really see that on this side. We're not we're not excluding people. And so I don't know, white women historically have fought for their own personal rights and belief, and they could care less about anybody else. And that's the complete opposite for Black women or women in color in general. So, no, we have not turned into white liberal women. We've turned into women that have become educated, informed, self-aware. And I think you're seeing a group of women that are unwilling to continue sacrificing themselves, their work, their sweat, their blood, their tears, their knowledge, and just take it and sit in silence. So it looks like a shift in values, but this too shall pass. We need to heal ourselves. So we need to be a little bit selfish, and we do need to fight for our rights because they have been trampled upon for way too long. And we need our counterpart. We need our Black kings to join us in the fight. We need you to uplift us, and so that we feel safe and heard. And the only way we're going to feel safe and heard is by our Black men. It's not going to be white women. It's not going to be white men. It's going to be our Black kings.
Thank you for that, Tiff. I appreciate all you guys. I want to find out too if the white birth rate declining has to do with the rise in white women just prioritizing education and degrees, because the white birth rate is declining. So to close it out, I do think Black women have become liberal white women. The systems that were created typically by the left, right? They embody, and Black women are also, Black women are a part of that. I'm sorry, can you hear me? The things that we need from the Black women, being wives and moms, they're not prioritizing. And I will argue that's because of the left and feminism. Until Black women get their own, embody their own ideals and create their own ideology that aligns more so with keeping the Black family together, I think that, I will have the mindset, if you're not for us, you're against us. So in my opinion, I do think that Black women have become white, liberal feminist women, for those reasons. So yeah, man, this was an interesting discussion. I was a shitty moderator today. I interrupted way too much, but learn from this. I'm taking accountability. Like I said before, I'm gonna get better. And I love this discussion because not only is it about just dating dynamics, it's more so impactful because it's about the Black community's survival and what we need to do to get back together. And I think that we all want the same things. We just have to come together to figure out the best way to, achieve those things. But I appreciate you, Tyree. I appreciate you, Omar, and I appreciate you, Tiffany. Thank you guys. Time is worth more than money. And thank you guys for sharing your time with the platform today. Thank you guys. I love you guys more than you will ever know. More topics to come. The Guys Podcast, Capture Media. Until next time, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys.
Yes, sir.